Hi, and welcome to my screencast. My name is Madison McLaren, and this screencast is for Geog 167. I did my project, obviously, on Alaska emissions and its effect on the local ecosystem. Actually, when I started this project, I wanted to do how people personally, their migrations, their outward building, making houses bigger, having bigger families, their personal waste was like kind of affecting national park systems. But then I ended up changing that because I realized that that's really not what is affecting the national parks so much as kind of our bigger ways that we're really wasting our resources and emitting a lot of greenhouse gases. And this is through what I call like out of sight, out of mind emission building. It's your power plants and oil fracking sites and landfills. And once you put your trash away, you never see it again. So you kind of don't think about it ever again. And that's what's really harming our ecosystems. So I wanted to start with my Tableau Explorer map because I wanted to show Alaska's pretty small. That's why I wanted to do it. And it has a lot of natural habitat. So I wanted to show the emissions versus county population. And so I wanted to start with, I wanted to start with this map to kind of show you, the different counties in Alaska. And then I wanted to show, the emissions compared to each other. So we can look here, see this dark red, obviously because of this, has the most emissions. We can see compared to the next most emissions, how big it is. And then you can look at it in here, how much percent of the actual population is in this area to see is it the percentage population that is making these emissions so big. So we'll look at this biggest, the biggest population in here is Anchorage. You see two numbers, but let's find Anchorage on the map. So look, we can look at Anchorage, really, really small. A lot of people there, about a second, third amount of emissions in the whole country, but in the whole state. But look how small that county is compared to this north slope up here, where we can look at it has so many emissions, dark red, so much more than all of these other counties. But look at how small this sliver actually is. There's not that many people living in it, so it's not personal emissions that are making these so great. Darker reds down here. Really, kind of a medium community. So I thought that this was like really important to be able to look through these and be able to click on, essentially whatever you want and look at it wherever in three different aspects to kind of compare to itself. So I thought this was really important to put up first. Then I wanted to look at the areas kind of that we've focused on up here, like these dark reds and these darker reds down here that have the high emissions and why they're there. And I found an oil fracking map that look at these oil fracking and gas fracking sites are really concentrated up in this north slope and up down here in the KI Peninsula, where we saw these darker reds, where we see these bigger circles and not necessarily the biggest populations. It's because of this great amount of fracking locations that are giving off so many emissions. And then I wanted to look at the national park regions. So I've obviously found that these high emission areas are outside of the national park regions. They focus, more in this interior, and that's because you can't put a landmine in a national park. You can't put a fracking site there because they're preserved and so they have lower emissions. But I did find that, like, look at this air quality concern right here is one of the closest spots. The closest national park to the highest emissions. They're still having their effect. They're having their effect over here and down here that's close to these high emission areas. So even though it's not directly in these national parks, it's going towards them through the atmosphere. If people aren't building into them directly, we're kind of doing it in a different way. And I think that's really scary. So I just wanted to make, like a little 3-part project that you could look at this and kind of see that even though they're not directly in these areas yet. Maybe they will be. So that is my project. Thank you.